The Big Bang Theory is a popular American television sitcom, aired its first episode in 2007 and concluded in 2019, with an impressive 279 episodes spanning across 12 seasons. Set in the Pasadena, California, the plot primarily revolves around the lives and interactions of five intriguing characters: Leonard Hofstadter, portrayed by Johnny Galecki, and Sheldon Cooper by Jim Parsons, are both esteemed physicists at Caltech. They are roommates, sharing an apartment with their distinct yet complementary personalities. The vivacious Penny, played by Kaylee Cuoco, started as a waitress with dreams of becoming an actress, but later transitions into a pharmaceutical representative. Leonard and Sheldon's co-workers, Howard Wolowitz and Raj Koothrappali, played by Simon Helberg and Kunal Nayyar, are their equally nerdy and socially awkward friends. Howard is an adept aerospace engineer, while Raj shines as an accomplished astrophysicist who can't talk to women without being drunk. As the series progresses, we see the introduction of other characters. Bernadette Rostankowski, brought to life by Melissa Roch, begins as a waitress, but later achieves her Ph.D. in microbiology and ends up marrying Howard. And Amy Farrah Fowler, played by Mayim Bialik, is a proficient neuroscientist who forms a romantic connection with Sheldon Cooper, ultimately becoming his wife. The widespread popularity of The Big Bang Theory can be credited to its ingenious blend of humor, captivating references to science, comic books, and various elements of geek culture, combined with more traditional relationship dynamics. Its unique portrayal of scientists and intellectually oriented individuals stands out as a noteworthy aspect of the show. The series received high praise from both audiences and critics. Jim Parsons' unforgettable performance as the quirky Sheldon Cooper received numerous accolades and awards, further enhancing the show's appeal. For big fans of the show, the charismatic Dr. Sheldon Cooper needs no introduction. He is, after all, a character who has managed to win over the hearts of many with his idiosyncrasies. It's safe to say, everybody loves Sheldon Cooper, right?
Sarcasm?
Though his unusual behavior might strike some as peculiar, and indeed, borderline eccentric,
I'm not crazy. My mother had me tested.
his character holds a certain irresistible appeal. Given his formidable IQ of 187, he serves as an inexhaustible reservoir of knowledge, often obscure or unasked for, and is perpetually eager to educate his friends and anyone within his vicinity, whether they express interest or not. Yet, one can't help but wonder, are these science references from Sheldon authentic, or are they merely punchlines in disguise?
Clause.
Howard, you know me to be a very smart man. Don't you think if I were wrong, I'd know it?
Let's find out. Here are 5 science facts by Dr. Cooper that might pique your interest or simply tickle your funny bones. At number 5, the intriguing discussion around stairs. In the very first episode of the show, while Sheldon and Leonard are walking up the stairs, Sheldon shared an interesting thing about stairs.
If the height of a single step is off by as little as 2 millimeters, most people will trip.
I don't care. 2 millimeters? That doesn't seem right.
No, it's true. I did a series of experiments when I was 12. My father broke his clavicle.
The idea that a 2-millimeter difference in step height can cause people to trip is a bit of an exaggeration, but it is based on a certain truth. In reality, noticeable inconsistencies in step height can indeed cause people to trip, but the precise measurement that would cause such a mishap likely varies from person to person, depending on factors like their stride length, foot size, and walking speed. However, Sheldon's assertion that a mere 2-millimeter difference in stair height is enough to trip up unsuspecting pedestrians leaves us uncertain. In actuality, our brains are inclined to believe that all stair steps are identical. This belief is generally supported by the fact that most staircases adhere to uniform dimensions. Yet, even slight variations can disrupt our unconscious locomotion. Dean Peterson, a filmmaker, offered the world compelling evidence of this phenomenon. A video he released several years back swiftly went viral, showing countless New York City subway commuters tripping on the same step while going up the stairs. As it turned out, one step was not even a full inch higher than the rest, leading to this unexpected hazard. The Metro Transit Authority promptly closed the stairway and rectified the problem. Despite Sheldon's claim, experts, architects, and engineers dismiss the 2-millimeter figure as too insignificant to matter. They argue that such a minor discrepancy would generally go unnoticed. As per the International Residential Code and International Building Code, The maximum permitted variation from the highest to the lowest point on a staircase is 3/8 of an inch or 9.5 millimeters. This implies that any deviation smaller than this limit should be negligible. Even so, Sheldon was able to detect such a minor discrepancy, a testament to his meticulous nature. It's just unfortunate that it had to be at his father's expense. Number 4. Pitch Perfect. In this episode, Sheldon was struck by the disorderly state of Penny's apartment. Every item seemed haphazardly
Great
strewn
Caesar's
about,
ghost, look at this place.
making it appear as though they were misplaced. Overcome by a strong urge to rectify the situation,
Overall set of complex numbers is a little mess. This is chaos.
Sheldon set out on a mission. However, his timing was questionable at best. He decided to conduct his cleanup operation in the middle of the night while Penny was deeply immersed in her sleep. Yes, you heard that right. Sheldon risked entering his neighbor's apartment under the cover of darkness, which is indeed a peculiar act. Leonard attempted to dissuade Sheldon from his nighttime venture, but his efforts were fruitless. As they tiptoed around Penny's cluttered living space, Sheldon cautioned Leonard to avoid creating pitch noises. They wanted to avoid disturbing Penny's slumber at all costs.
We have to get out of here. You might want to speak in a lower register. What? Evolution has made women sensitive to high-pitched noises while they sleep so that they'll be roused by a crying baby. If you want to avoid waking her, speak in a lower register. That's ridiculous. No.
That's ridiculous.
Sheldon's claim that women's evolution has fine-tuned their auditory sensitivity to high-pitched sounds, like a baby's cry, while sleeping, represents a classic oversimplification of complex biological and sociocultural dynamics. While empirical data suggests women, especially mothers, may be more responsive to a baby's cry during sleep than men, attributing this solely to evolution is far from conclusive. Sound sensitivity during sleep depends on a myriad of factors, such as sleep stages, individual auditory processing, and the nature of the sound itself. Research has indeed shown that women possess greater sensitivity to high-pitched sounds than men. Subsequent studies, with diverse racial and ethnic participant groups, have consistently corroborated this finding. However, it is crucial to underscore the nuanced nature of these results. On average, women have more sensitive hearing than men, but individual differences abound. Any notion that this gender difference in sound sensitivity is an evolutionary adaptation is, at present, purely speculative. Despite rigorous investigation, researchers have been unable to determine whether this gender-based sensitivity disparity is due to biology or learned behavior. Consequently, claims that women evolved this sensitivity to respond better to a crying baby are not empirically grounded as of now. While Sheldon's statement may have a kernel of truth, it's likely an oversimplification of the complex interplay of biology, evolution, and behavior. Number 3. White mice versus guinea pigs. In this scene, Penny enters Leonard and Sheldon's apartment to ask for help. She's finally landed a bartending shift at the restaurant and needs someone to practice her mixology skills on. Leonard responds with understanding, but Sheldon, with his trademark, offers advice on actual guinea pigs and lab mice.
Oh, hey.
I need some guinea pigs.
Oh, okay, there's a lab animal supply company in Reseda you could try. But if your research is going to have human applications, may I suggest white mice instead? Their brain chemistry is far closer to ours.
I swear to God, Sheldon, one day I'm gonna get the hang of talking to you.
Sheldon's claim that the brain chemistry of white mice is closer to that of humans than guinea pigs is generally accurate. Mice are one of the most commonly used animals in biomedical research due to their physiological and genetic similarities to humans. Scientists have been able to map the mouse genome and manipulate it in a way that allows them to study the function and interaction of genes, which is extremely useful when studying human diseases. However, it's important to note that no animal model can perfectly replicate all aspects of human physiology and disease. Each animal model, be it a mouse, a guinea pig, or another species, has its strengths and limitations. Some diseases might be better modeled in animals other than mice. The reality of scientific research is complex and nuanced, something that Sheldon's statement doesn't quite capture. While mice serve as excellent models in many research scenarios, their utility is not universal. Certain aspects of neuroscience research may find other species like guinea pigs more applicable. For instance, guinea pigs showcase a developmental pattern of brain growth that echoes that of humans more closely than mice. Essentially, the choice between mice and guinea pigs as research subjects is contingent on the specific nature of the scientific investigation at hand. In the case of Sheldon's remark, he seems to be referring to the widespread use of mice in neurological research. Mouse models have been invaluable in advancing our understanding of human neurobiology and in the development of treatments for neurological diseases. That said, the statement oversimplifies the complexity of animal research and doesn't necessarily imply that mice are universally better than guinea pigs for all kinds of research. Number 2, the strongest.
First order of physics bold business. We need a truly kick-ass team name.
In this scene, Sheldon, Leonard, Howard, and Raj are deeply immersed in a fervent discussion. The topic of contention is the selection of a formidable team name for their upcoming participation in the Physics Bowl. Every one of them throws in suggestions, adding a lively dose of personal flair to the debate. Sheldon, ever the logical and fastidious one, puts forth his own proposition.
Teams are traditionally named after fierce creatures, thus intimidating one's opponent.
Then we could be the Bengal Tigers.
Poor choice. Yet gram for gram, no animal exceeds the relative fighting strength of the army ant.
Maybe so. But you can't incinerate a Bengal tiger with a magnifying glass.
The Big Bang Theory often uses real scientific facts as part of its humor, and Sheldon's claim about the army ant is broadly correct in a specific context. When Sheldon says, gram for gram, no animal exceeds the relative fighting strength of the army ant, he's referring to the remarkable abilities of these insects relative to their size. Army ants are known for their aggression and their highly coordinated, colony-wide predatory behavior. Millions of ants working together can take down much larger prey, even forcing larger animals to flee from their path. Ants are super strong for their size. A whole ant colony can shift 50 tons of dirt each year by working together. Believe it or not, ants can lift objects 50 times their own weight. Take leafcutter ants, for example. They have strong jaws like chainsaws, which they use to cut leaves off trees. After removing a leaf, they quickly carry it back to their nest. Leafcutters can sprint while carrying 50 times their own weight. Imagine a person lifting a car and walking a few miles with it. That's how strong ants are. However, some bugs are even stronger. Dung beetles, for instance, are known to be incredibly strong. Some people even say they're the strongest creatures. They can pull over 1,141 times their own weight. If a person could do this, it would be like lifting 7 elephants. However, the comparison between an army ant and a Bengal tiger is complicated because it's hard to define and measure fighting strength in a way that's consistent across such vastly different animals. For instance, if we consider individual strength, a tiger would obviously win against a single ant. Tigers are apex predators with powerful muscles and deadly claws and teeth. However, if we consider the coordinated group behavior of army ants and their ability to take down prey many times their size, the comparison might swing in favor of the ants, at least in a relative sense. So, in conclusion, Sheldon's claim is not entirely unfounded, but it's based on a specific interpretation of fighting strength. And number 1, the Cuckoo Bird. In this episode, Leonard, Howard, and Raj find themselves in a tug-of-war over the affection of Missy, Sheldon's twin sister. As they squabble over who should have the privilege of dating Missy, Sheldon interjects, asserting that it is his prerogative to determine with whom his sister should share her genetic material.
You have to respect his wishes.
You're out too, by the way.
Say what?
It's nothing personal. I'd just prefer if my future niece or nephew didn't become flatulent every time they ate an Eskimo pie.
The discord continues until Missy herself overhears Sheldon's audacious claim.
You're really being unreasonable.
Am I? Here, eat this cheese without farting and you can sleep with my sister.
Oh, really?
Oops.
I've lived my whole life dealing with the fact that my twin brother is, as Mom puts it, one of God's special little people.
I always thought I was more like a cuckoo bird. You know, a superior creature whose egg is placed in the nest of ordinary birds. Of course, the newly hatched cuckoo eats all the food, leaving the ordinary siblings to starve to death. Luckily for you, that's where the metaphor ended.
I thought it ended at cuckoo.
Sheldon's depiction of certain cuckoo bird species and their unusual reproductive behavior, known as brood parasitism, is largely precise. In this intriguing yet ruthless survival strategy, the common cuckoo bird, or Cuculus canorus, lays its eggs in the nests of other bird species. The hatched cuckoo chick, despite being frail and sightless, instinctively ensures its own survival by ejecting the host's eggs or young chicks out of the nest, often monopolizing the care and food provided by the unwitting foster parents. Remarkably, These eggs typically hatch within 11 to 13 days, a faster period compared to many host species, thereby providing the chick an early advantage in its deceptive journey. However, it's crucial to underline that not all cuckoo bird species exhibit this behavior, with many amongst more than 100 cuckoo species raising their own offspring. Thus, while Sheldon's metaphor resonates with the behavior of some cuckoos, it's not a uniform characteristic for all. His metaphor seems to indicate his perceived superiority and occasionally overbearing attitude, countered by Missy's firm boundary setting, a relatable dynamic in sibling relationships. I hope you had a blast checking out these quirky moments. Your beloved Mr. Know-It-All, Sheldon, sure has a knack for scientific accuracy, mostly. But hey, both life and science isn't always as simple as Sheldon makes it out to be. And there's a whole lot more to these critters than meets the eye. In the end, the Big Bang Theory isn't just about the laughs. It's also a cool way to learn some science. But remember, just like Sheldon's understanding of social cues, these scientific bits may sometimes miss the mark. So if you're up for a laugh and a bit of learning, why not dive deeper into the science behind the show? You might just have your own bazinga moment.
Bazinga. Bazinga.